Okay, looks like we're live. So thank you everyone that's been waiting. Um, really happy to be bringing you another live sketch today. We're joined by Ollie and Brett, and I'll let them introduce themselves in a little bit. But I just want to give everybody some context of what's going on today. So we do these live sketches about twice a month, maybe a bit more. But basically, the point is to just get into Gravity Sketch and allow all of you out there to ask your questions, show you different ways the product can be used. Today, what we're focusing on is actually the prompt for our challenge this month, which is to design a chair based off of your favorite artist or designer. And so you can interpret that however you want. It can be they can be alive or dead. Any style that you think you like from an artist or a designer, bring that into a chair and what you think that might look like. Design it in Gravity Sketch. Share your process even if you can, and hashtag share using the hashtag Gravity Sketch Challenge, and we'll pick some of the best ones and post about it. So that's the challenge we got running this month, and so we thought it'd be great to have that as the sort of the anchor for today's live sketch. And if I haven't introduced myself, my name is Jaren, and I'm the creative content manager here at Gravity Sketch. And I get to do fun stuff like this, and happy to host today's live sketch. Brett, if you want to start, introduce yourself, then we'll go to Ollie, and then we'll just dive right in.
Yeah, definitely. Hey everyone, my name is Brett. So I'm currently working at Gravity Sketch as an automotive design consultant alongside Ali, but I actually studied industrial and furniture design at SCAD, so really jumped at the opportunity to take on this challenge. And yeah, excited to show you how I would approach this, how I use Gravity Sketch. Hopefully you guys learned something about the tool. And yeah, off to Ali now.
Yeah, yeah. Hey everyone, my name's Ali Moosavi. I'm also an automotive design consultant. I'm excited to get into this live sketch as I've never really designed furniture before, so this is going to be a new journey for me. So you'll probably see a lot of ideation on my end, and I'll be looking towards Brett's experience to be able to guide me and maybe give some good feedback along the journey. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
let's
it,
do it.
guys. So I want to let everybody know. So I'm actually joining a 2D collab right now, so that's why I can kind of fly around the scene. I'll be hopping between the view of Brett and Ollie today, just kind of attaching myself to them. But just to let everybody know, in case anybody's wondering, am I in VR? Am I 2D collab? It's 2D collab, which is um, our desktop feature where you can just join in VR without having to put the headset on, which is kind of nice. So, looks like you guys are starting out with some mannequins, which makes a lot of sense. Do you one of you guys want to talk about like sort of your approach that you're thinking about here? Um,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I can jump in here. So the mannequin is really helpful because for one, you're going to be sketching at one-to-one scale in Gravity Sketch. So it's really natural for when people jump in, they just kind of start sketching and you don't really have an awareness of like the actual scale you're working at. So when you import a mannequin, for starters, you are working at like the correct scale. So if you ever wanted to export it to another software or something, you're at like the actual right size. And then also it's just a perfect reference to actually build around because you can find the seating position and then now I can start, adding some different sketch lines and just starting to think about how I want this design to be laid out.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, the mannequin's useful for a lot of things. We've seen a lot of applications for it in Gravity Sketch. Obviously, pretty useful in this scenario, creating a chair, getting that right posture, like Brett was just talking about, right seat height and everything. And then looks like Brett, like you're just trying to get some basic sketching down, and then probably going to refine from there the design. I imagine it like just like any sort of like basic napkin sketch. You're just kind of like trying to get the scaffolding, so to speak, of the concept down, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. So I have a couple of cool inspirations here that I want to reference. I had a really hard time identifying like one brand or one designer one artist that I wanted to work off of. There's just so many great like furniture out there. So like Hey Design is a really good example. I love their aesthetic here, just like a really clean, simple, like well executed design and vibrant colors. Like Nendo's a really cool example as well. They have just really simple design language that's again just like super cleanly executed. Another one that I'm not showing here, but I'm kind of just naturally did on this example was like Blue Dot because they have really cool like bent sheet metal kind of furniture. So yeah, I'm just throwing down shapes and then seeing what I can make of that. I think that's the fun thing about Gravity Sketch too, is you can be really resourceful in your sketch lines.
Yeah, this is great. I'm excited to see where this goes. Ollie, I see that you've got some Sid Mead inspiration here. Obviously, some other things.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
can we talk about
absolutely.
what
Sid
you're
Mead
thinking
had to
about?
be Sid Mead's like on top of my list. As soon as I saw favorite artist, I was always tantalized by, the gouache paintings and the sketches that Sid Mead would do, especially in terms of the color palette, especially like thinking about now in the age of AI, AI spitting out images, like this. And, to think that somebody was doing this by hand, so many years ago and also was so forward thinking, in terms of like the concepts and, the compositions as well. I just had to, put some of the examples here of like really good use of color, really good use of composition, and then also there's some really interesting forms in there. So today I'm just going to be experimenting a little bit between, maybe getting pulling some inspiration from Sid Mead, as well as I found this really nice couch or sofa from Rocher Beaubois that just happened to come across on the internet. It's really bold, soft. I love that there's like this really punchy color there. And then I also, I've always kind of gravitated towards more of like the wireframe type furniture here at the end where, that's just very intelligently constructed and the soft goods are kind of like cradled within it. So if I could do a mixture of these three elements, pulling inspiration here and there from each one, I think it could lend itself to a pretty cool furniture design.
I love it. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the results are, guys. And I want to reiterate. I send it in the chat, but if anybody has any questions for myself, for Ollie, for Brett, anything about the product, feel free to ask, and we'll answer to the best of our ability. It really is just an open session to just talk about design, talk about sketching, talk about Gravity Sketch, talk about anything around design. We really just want to get an open dialogue with all of you out there. So, and thank you for joining us. And if you're worried about not being able to watch the whole session, this will definitely be available as soon as the live is over. It's going to be posted on our content on our channel. So. Let's see here. So, so with Ollie, you said you're really liking the wireframe. Do you think that that's probably going to heavily influence your direction, like the sort of the wireframe approach, maybe with pops of color like Sid Mead, or what are you kind of thinking?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the direction that I'm going in for this very first sketch. I'm planning on doing multiple sketches in this round. I'm thinking that this could be some kind of really cool chair where it has like the wireframe, but then also kind of pulling inspiration from this Rocher Beaubois sofa here. Like maybe there's like these really big inset cushions inside this, and it'll be like a really beautiful, color contrasting this wireframe.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be great to see. Awesome to see what that looks like. That comes together. Brett, I see you've got a couple ideas going here already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just I don't like to think about it too much. It's funny I say that because I was kind of overthinking this a little before. I was like, should I pull in some images? Should I do some sketches? And I think it probably would work out best today if I just kind of see what happens. But yeah, with like this kind of design or this kind of thinking, it's kind of nice in Gravity Sketch to see what's there and then kind of make something out of it. So like this sketch here really came out of nothing, but then I really liked this detail, this kind of almost like bent sheet metal or like origami kind of design language, and maybe that could lend itself well towards like this model here. So I'm just kind of, as I'm making iterations and thinking about this as I go, I'm gonna keep pulling from different pieces of my sketch that I like.
Yeah. Do you what is your typical design process? Do you usually try and get some quick ideas out like this just to um, kind of get things flowing, or what's your typical process when you start a design?
Yeah, honestly, so I I've really learned to fall in love with just the ink tool and the stroke tool in Gravity Sketch. So whenever I'm designing in this, I like to understand what I'm making the best that I can using the simplest tools possible. So then when I jump into like sub D modeling or maybe like presenting the work and stuff, I have a really clear understanding of what I'm trying to make. For me personally, I'm not it doesn't lend itself as well to like coming up with ideas with sub D modeling. I'm a much bigger fan of sketching the thing out, kind of suggesting what I want the design to be, and then actually modeling it and refining it once I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, it's always interesting to me, um, everyone's approach in Gravity Sketch. It tends to be like super loose, and that's kind of all they really need. Like it's just kind of like some 3D sketches. Some people just like start right into sub D. They like get really specific with their design. And
That's usually me for automotive.
yeah, I feel like I wonder if that's because I do that too sometimes, and I think that sometimes the idea is so clear in my head, I just want to like just see it in front of me. Like there's not a whole lot of um, like I don't really want to iterate around it. Like I honestly just want to like see what I see in my head. I don't know if that's how
Yeah.
you feel, Ollie.
That's
No,
fair
I
too.
mean sometimes you just got to sculpt it versus trying to construct it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like oh, that's really cool.
I don't know what this is, but it's starting to work out
Yeah,
somehow, some way.
I'm liking it.
Don't know how comfortable it'd be.
Yeah.
That's another thing
I mean, maybe
entirely. So
I'm just looking at it. Like maybe you can play on some of those. Like here I am, like kind of like giving some thoughts now.
That's cool.
Maybe you can like play on some of those polygonal shapes that were like where the seat would be, and
hmm
like they
yeah,
would more kind of form a seat where the person would be sitting, but still following that like radial design. I wonder if that's like
absolutely. No,
possible. I don't
that's
know. Just
definitely the
thinking.
route. That's definitely the route. I just got to figure out how to pull it off.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, this is the fun part, though. I think. Yeah, the interesting. I'm just watching you do it. Yeah, I think some that's kind of like what I was thinking, like where the
There's got to be
person.
some kind of like layered approach here, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of looks like a sunflower or something like that. I don't know, something in here.
yeah. It's interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Is this like low poly polar symmetry or something?
This is radial volume tool, and then I did polar symmetry on the stroke exactly.
Oh, and it's like
Um,
mirrored. Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and it's mirrored, so yeah, it was kind of easy to make.
That's so trippy.
Yeah, it's trippy, but figured
You,
it'd be a cool experiment.
you know what would be kind of cool too?
Mm.
I wonder if you could like get rid of the wireframe maybe, and then you just have this like cool kind of parametric design, and then you have like an outer shell or something, like kind of like if you like the egg chair or something like that. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing feel comfortable. Maybe I'm thinking too small. Maybe this has to be bigger.
Oh, what if it's like a rocking chair or something too? I don't know.
That could be cool.
Let's go over here. This is interesting, Brett. Like your sketches are like it's like a it's like a combination of like a stool with like a high back chair, which is really cool.
Yeah, I guess it's a little random. I think I like this one the best. I think I might try
Yeah.
developing this a bit further. This one feels like the most proportional. Maybe it's like a really elaborate dining chair. I was kind of inspired by this hay design chair up here. Um, it's like pretty exaggerated
Oh
proportions,
yeah.
but there's still something, yeah, there's something like really engaging about that I liked.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yes, maybe I can kind of replicate something with this. We'll see.
In terms of like CMF or color material, what are you thinking? Are you thinking of following a bit of the hay design or something else?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like bent plywood is always pretty tempting. I feel like that always looks pretty cool. Um, yeah, I think probably like a couple different materials could look nice. Maybe maybe like wooden legs here. So I was thinking for the legs it could be either those like hairpin kind of legs with like a bent steel, or this could be like a dowel rod, like a tapered wooden leg. And I'm thinking this could be maybe some kind of plastic with like a cushion. So I was thinking of doing like some more detailed modeling for the different cushions and stuff here. I was kind of inspired by automotive design as well, so maybe some cool like modern mid-century kind of design language mixed with an automotive design.
No,
Look
I
quite
definitely
cool.
understand what you're saying, especially with like sort of these pieces that come out sort of next to the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I was like, I wonder if there's a cool like dining chair version of a automotive interior or something.
dining chair version of like an F1 car, F1 seat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
I knew Ollie was gonna chip in there. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about like what the legs would be for this, Ollie. That's pretty cool.
I have no idea what it is. Um, yeah, I'm just seeing what could be possible here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like that. Like, I wasn't even thinking like what could it be, and then now I'm thinking about it. Now you got me thinking because you're drawing these like, um, yeah, like these. I would probably guess metal wire.
Yeah, these are probably like some aluminum tubing or something like that.
Yeah.
Matte black aluminum tubing. Yeah, I think I would call this sketch complete. I'm gonna move on to something else now.
Very cool. Yeah, this is
Let's
great.
see what's next.
Yeah, if anybody out there has any questions at this point, please feel free to ask. Shoot it in the chat. Um, love to get any of your questions and um, yeah, bring some insight wherever we can. What I think is kind of cool too about these sketches is that these are fully 3D printable. So like if you had like a little wireframe or a little idea sketch like this in Gravity Sketch, you could 3D print it if you wanted. Um, all of um, all the objects in here, even including the sketches, are 3D objects. So um, and we've seen that people in the community do that where they create these simple little like sketches. I mean, literally for chairs. I mean, they'll create these little wireframe chairs and then 3D print them to have just like a little, yeah, just like a little prototype representation of their ideas physically manifested. Um, so if you're someone that likes to prototype and likes to rapid prototype things and hold things in your hand, your doodles in Gravity Sketch can do that for you. So Brett's validating some texture already on the legs, which is nice. It's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of get obsessed with like the wood grain, and so I'm trying to figure out like an image that maybe works with these legs. Ah, there we go. Like sometimes you just got to find the right image that works.
Soon that won't be a problem. Or at some
Ah,
point. At some point, it won't be
yeah,
a
at some
problem
point.
anymore. Yeah.
Be patiently waiting.
Patience is key, but it won't be a problem.
Yeah, and then, once you do find the texture, it ends up looking pretty cool. So just gotta be patient with it, I guess.
That looks nice, actually. Yeah. Also, anybody out there listening too, if there's any topics, or if there are things that you think would be great to cover in a live sketch session like this, shoot the ideas out there. We're open. Um, we really do this for the community, and we would love to get your feedback and your input on things you'd like to see, sketches or workflows. It could even be other tools. So like, Gravity Sketch to Blender, we can bring someone that's an expert on that workflow. Gravity Sketch to Rhino, whatever topics that would be really interesting to you, we'd love to hear it and possibly cover it in the future. So definitely share away. And I'll say we definitely have a lot of areas and things we'd like to talk about and touch, but if it's informed by all of you out there, the community, then that's even better. Andrew Tech actually commented that they would love a tutorial on modeling or concepting characters. That's a really good one. That's something that we don't touch on very much in Gravity Sketch. We do have a live sketch that actually I did a few years ago, making like a Boba Fett, but we really don't do much character stuff. I think that's kind of an untapped category, and I think something we could dive into.
I would love to see that again.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun to do.
Yeah, those are really cool. It's just it's like not as common of a use case that you see in Gravity Sketch. So when it's done, it's really exciting.
Jonathan Mitchell's asking, how do you see your hours on Gravity Sketch? Do you guys know how to access that? I can't quite remember.
I honestly, I don't really check that as well. Sorry, I can't be more of help there, but Brett, maybe you know?
Yeah, okay, so there's a trick I learned. I don't know if it necessarily helps you like track the hours that you've accumulated, like lifetime hours, but the clock on your like offhand, you can click on it and you can actually get notifications of like how long you've spent in Gravity Sketch. So I'm not sure if you're asking like I want to set a timer for myself. You're probably asking like how many hours you've accumulated. But if you are trying to set a timer, you can do that using the clock. So being in VR and then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. or something.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good one to use, especially for tracking time. Yeah, I feel like I should maybe know this one, but I have a suspicion that it might be on Landing Pad somewhere. Could be wrong, but
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
there are.
That's a good question.
Oh, it is. It is on Landing Pad. So if you log in on Landing Pad, and you go to the top and you click on View Profile, there's some stats there. So you can look at your total hours, but you can also look at a lot of other interesting things. Tells you how many. Let's see. It tells you curved surfaces.
Whoa,
Sketch text tells you how many lines you've made.
dude,
Dimension
I have to
lines.
know. I have
Wait,
to know
really?
how many I've made.
Yeah, it's
That's
actually
crazy.
really interesting.
Are you looking at it now?
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So if you go on, so if anybody out there wondering if you want to know how many hours you've spent in Gravity Sketch and maybe know some other interesting stats, just log into your landing pad, click on uh, go to your icon at the top right, click on View Profile, and it'll tell you your stats, which is pretty cool. I knew it was somewhere, I just couldn't remember exactly where it was. I didn't want to mislead anyone. Let's see. Okay, we got a few comments coming through now, so let me read through these and see. All right. All right.
I'm giving some context to my stuff. You're gonna like this over here, Brett. I'm making like a little,
Let's see it.
setup.
Someone's asking.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Is it possible to save a single sketch as a prefab? Yes. You can grab a group of objects and drop them basically while having your 3D files open. You can drop it in there as a prefab. Ollie or Brett, could you just demo that really quickly, what that looks like, just so that we have that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Brett, if you
I
want
got
to
you.
go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So, first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that the objects you want to turn into a prefab are visible. So for instance, Jaren, I'm not sure if you're looking at, are you like pinned to my headset
Yeah.
here?
We're looking at
Okay,
you.
okay, cool. Yeah, so for instance, like if I wanted to turn this model into a prefab, if I were to do that and I was only grabbing like these parts, I wouldn't turn the sketch into a prefab because the sketch is locked. So you want to make sure that everything you're grabbing is like unlocked for starters. But then you'll go to your prefabs, import models, choose the folder you want this to be saved in. So for this case, I'm just going to choose my personal workspace. And unfortunately, I think through ScreenCloud, you can't see my folders.
No, we can't.
Well, regardless of the fact, more likely than not, you're just going to choose your personal workspace. Then once you have that folder open, all you're going to do is grab the model, drag it here into the panel until it highlights green, let go, title your model. So in this case, I'll just write like prefab example, and then click the blue check mark. And
we didn't see any of those steps, but I think you definitely conveyed the steps though, and thank you for doing that, Brad. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple process, and it's really a good question because a lot of times in these live sessions, you'll want to save something to take away later and work on it as an individual sketch. And work on it later. I almost think of live sketch rooms as like a workshop where everybody comes in and works together. But sometimes you want to take a little piece of that thing you've been working on, take it into another room or take it home, continue working on it. So it's kind of the same kind of thinking. At least that's how it makes sense to me. Let's see. Sculpting tools for VR. It's definitely been talked about within the team. No promises. Maybe one day, but we've definitely heard that one a lot. There's been a couple questions on the viewpoint on how we're streaming this right now. Whoa. Let's see here. I can answer that. So I'm actually streaming the view right now. We're looking at Brett's view at the moment. But if I just click this here, I can switch over to Ollie's view. And so what you're looking at right now is actually 2D collab. So I'm not in VR, but I'm viewing Brett and Ollie in VR from a 2D perspective. And this is our 2D collab platform where we can join into a collab room without having to put the headset on. So it's a great way to join in on the experience. I can also just move myself around freely if I want to and observe and look around and see what Brett and Ollie have been working on. But someone was asking, was I using external camera? this and that. So we're using 2D Colab. Ollie, I see you've got like a little setup going here.
Yeah, like a little setup here. I just wanted to give it a little context, put a little plant, little table to complement the design. Yeah, I think this would be like an outdoor setting maybe. Could be an indoor setting, depending on what the materials are. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that one turned out. Now I just I'm scratching my head on what to do next. So maybe I'll revisit my inspiration here and see what I can come up with. I might do something that's a little bit more on the Sid Mead side, and then maybe mix in a little bit of wireframe afterward.
Nice.
So I'm going to bring out the ribbon stroke, or you know what, maybe a primitive. Let's go primitive.
I see some people are comparing stats now. their gravity sketch stats, which is awesome.
It's funny.
That's actually kind of what we were hoping would happen. Is if we make these stats, viewable, maybe it could be like a sort of a soft competition amongst the community.
Funny.
So, at least I think that was some of the thinking behind putting that on landing pad. So, I'm glad that you all are enjoying that that information. And it's pretty interesting to know. Someone said it'd be nice to have a chance to see an object from different perspective, front, side, back, top, like in Blender. Yeah.
Like orthographic views?
Yeah. So we've got the orthographic tool. It probably would be a little bit crazy to show that here in Colab just because there's so many sketches. But that is a feature that we have in Gravity Sketch where you can view your sketches from orthographic views, like you said, front, side, top. You can take screenshots actually of those, and yeah, it's actually a very useful tool. I didn't know if maybe Ollie, if you don't mind, maybe you could show.
Yeah,
what that
absolutely. So
like.
yeah, let me get out of this revolve tool here. So if I go to the settings here and I go all the way down to orthographic viewport, excuse me, I can click that and I'll see here that if I pull out the front view here.
Oh, you know what? It's actually not showing.
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay.
Colab. But that is good to show though where it is.
This is
it's
where it is though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely encourage you all to go out and try it for yourself.
I don't know what I'm doing. This is all ideation here at this point.
It's quite all right. Brett, you're trying to get some wood going on your seat back here, I see.
Yeah, I kind of got the classic like Eames thing going over here.
I like it.
Pretty cliche, but it's hard to not do in furniture design.
Looking good, guys. I'm really liking these a lot. I'm getting inspired because I haven't made mine yet. Let's move around here. Swim through the concepts. This is really interesting, Ollie. It was like a.
Well, I'm gonna start over real quick because I just realized it was off the axes.
Yeah, that was an interesting idea there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I want to do something with a sphere, like as as the base. Would be cool to maybe snap some wireframe on the sphere, if that's even yeah, that could be cool.
That's interesting.
It looks like it's off the center.
I definitely love this radial theme you've got going.
I think radial means comfortable. You know,
Yeah,
my opinion of it.
you're saying like aesthetically, um, it communicates comfortability.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like it kind of it's like engulfing you. It's like an egg.
I think when people see spheres, their eyes are immediately drawn to them
Yeah,
versus geometric because it's just out of the ordinary.
yeah.
That's just my opinion, though.
There was there was a period in school where I was doing a lot of my designs were very sphere based. Like I would try and work a sphere into like almost anything I did, just because I don't know. It just I I didn't quite articulate it the way you just did, but I think that was probably why I kept going that route, is because it just felt uh, it was just so different from a lot of the other stuff, and it made me feel comfortable. Well, a lot of the stuff I was doing was like, you know, to create like a good experience um, for the person interacting with the thing, and so yeah, I think you're definitely right there.
Trying to come up with some kind of like honeycomb pattern.
If you want to make something look futuristic, just make honeycombs. I don't know if that's true anymore, but that was definitely something that I heard a concept artist say years ago.
Was it Daniel Simon?
It could have been. I'm not sure though. They were just like trick to making something look futuristic. Just make it a hexagon. Very nice, Brett. Looking good. Got some definitely some mid-century vibes going, which I really like.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I'm kind of inspired by Ali. I might make like a little scene with all the different kind of like iterations, I think.
Another one thing I want to say to people out there watching, um, uh, I think there's I think the way that we show things sometimes is it makes the community feel like, or people watching jumping into Gravity Sketch for the first time, that they need to create a finished thing, and that's not true at all. Like these sketches here that Brett made, maybe that's all you need to do. Maybe that's all you need to get your idea out in 3D um, to understand what it is you're thinking about. We're just taking these to the next level because we've got the time um, and it's fun. But um, your design process and how far you want to take things absolutely um, applies and translates into Gravity Sketch. However far you want to take something, whether it's just the first initial sketch or if it's like a final model, um, it's totally up to you. And so we want to show more of this early concept stuff and um, and early ideas, just to really communicate that with people. Um, and likewise, if you are sharing your concepts for the Gravity Sketch challenge, we love to see your process. We love to see those first 30 sketches. And not everyone's comfortable sharing that stuff all the time, but we love seeing it because we just don't see it that much, especially from the community side. When you guys share your work, we love seeing the early messy phases of the design process. Um, it's really something we enjoy seeing because we get to see how you all think. Someone in the comments said hexagons are the bestagons. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm getting fighter vibes almost with this, Ollie.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking the same thing just now. I was like, I just went Star Wars with it.
It's great. It's great. I think it's perfect.
I want it to be like a little cocoon, that you can crawl in, see out of both sides. It'd be really cool.
We're just attached to your view right now. Wanted to get a little bit of a different perspective.
Yeah, imagine if you're in here, and you can kind of like sit crisscross or,
That's cool.
but
I
this
like
whole
that.
thing would be padded maybe. Like it could be like a padded, like all the way around, so you can like almost like a day bed for a human. Something. You see what I could do here? I could bake thicken. And then I'm going to thicken offset again. And I'm going to sharpen this a little bit. And then I'll change the color of this. Maybe, we'll do a different color here. Maybe we'll do like a relaxing kind of color here. Yeah. And then I will make some pillows in there as well. They could be a little bit lighter.
I'm liking this a lot. Yeah. Oh, we've got someone here asking how they can show their work. I'm sorry, your name is in Cyrillic, and I can't read Cyrillic, but it's a great question to ask. Where can you show your work to get some feedback? I would say definitely share your work and tag us on Instagram, on Twitter. Definitely join the Discord as well. The Gravity Sketch Discord is a great place to share your work. A lot of people sharing stuff there. And yeah, just get your work out there, exposed to the community. We love seeing it. We'll often comment as well on your work. We may not be giving a lot of feedback because we just love seeing stuff people make. But maybe that's something we could start doing. Maybe if people want feedback, we can start giving it. Yeah, no, it's a great question. I would say share your work on social media for sure and tag us. Make sure to tag us so that we can search it and find it.
Wouldn't it be cool if there was like a little light in here as well?
That would be cool. I like that. Oh yeah, someone said there's a Gravity Sketch community on Facebook. Yes, that's true as well. There's a Gravity Sketch community on Facebook as well. Definitely check that out. Join that.
Brett, come hang out in my sphere real quick.
Yeah, let's see it. What's going on over here?
Jump in, bro. I got pillows in there.
That's super cool.
Yeah, imagine you could like, put this up, maybe against like a really nice window in the city inside your penthouse, and then you could read a book in here.
Yeah. It's funny too because this just looks like you're living inside of like a light because you got the cord coming out of here. So I feel like I'm just living inside of like a light bulb.
I have no idea. I'm just making random things. Let me go check out your stuff. Man, you have a lot of iterations here.
Yeah, because I was trying to get pretty detailed and just like see different options. Like
Nice. It has a bit of an automotive flavor to it.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
backrest.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of got a little lost in the details if you look under some of these guys too. Just kind of like seeing the joinery and how that would come together. Different transitions and stuff. And then messing with like different shapes of the legs as well. So I like to work as, I guess, parametrically as I can in Gravity Sketch. So I like to like make an iteration and then experiment with that and kind of like off of different, then I can have just like tons of different options to render out or at least like see. Because as
Nice.
Jaren said before, it's like, you don't necessarily have to make like a finished thing. Like maybe the value you find is just, a ton of different ideas that you can share.
Yeah, yeah. No, I really like the one that you're working on. I'm almost wondering if like the backrest, like if you could expand it here, I'll draw a little bit too so you could see what I'm about to say. Yeah, like if you expanded this part to kind of curl underneath in terms
Oh,
of
that's
like the
cool.
wireframe to like match up the wireframe down at the bottom, because the actual, seating aspect of it, the seat, looks a little foreign compared to the backrest and the legs.
Yeah, I guess the seats kind of actually, now that you kind of gave me an idea here, I think it'd be kind of cool if like maybe this was suspended or something. Like you had the steel frame and then the cushion was like tied in somehow. So it was kind of gave it this like bounce.
That'd be sweet.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Guys,
Yeah,
just
let
to
me
let
see
you
if I
know,
can.
there's about a little less than 10 minutes left. If you guys want to do some final touches um, or make your final moves, just giving you guys a heads up.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
Sounds good.
It's looking great, guys.
Yeah, I'm really happy how this sphere thing turned out. This one's cool.
It's almost like this whole scene, like with the two that you put next to the table, and then this one over here, like it's all like making this very interesting, kind of cohesive. It's like a cohesive language going on here.
It's the Moosavi collection. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
I don't know. I really like the radial stroke tool. I feel like there's so much you could do with it.
Oh yeah, the radial stroke tool is really powerful. Brett, I do really like this sort of this bar, metal bar kind of direction you got going around uh, the chair. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I think I'm gonna go for that. I kind of like the idea of it being suspended or something. So basically, like you'd have these tubular steel legs, and then the cushion here, and then there could be like some kind of almost like rope or suspension kind of thing. So when you sit in it, it has like a little bit of a bounce to it.
I'm gonna try to make an ottoman.
I feel like that's really on brand for Ali for a chair challenge for him to do a whole furniture collection.
Yeah, on brand for Ollie. Yeah.
Man, I'm just having fun over here. The volume tool is underrated, man.
Yeah,
Do you ever use
I don't see
like
it used that
planar
much.
volume?
Sorry?
Do you ever use like planar volume as well?
Oh, I love making artwork. Yeah, yeah, let's do that right now. I'll do it. Planar volume is so cool. Yeah, you can make like really, you know what? I want to make like a little art piece to go in the background, like an abstract art piece.
Yeah, it's actually really great for that. Like super, kind of like modern art, like expressive style.
Yeah, and then give me one sec. I'm gonna unmirror this and then group it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
just pretend like there's a frame back there.
Brett, you got your ties going.
Yeah, I don't know how like functional this would be, but I kind of like the aesthetic of it, and I'm sure there's like a version of this that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, as we kind of get to our final minutes here on the live sketch, if anybody's got any questions they want to ask um, while we're here, feel free to ask it. We've got about 4 minutes left, so um, if anybody's curious about anything, workflow wise, any tools they got questions about, we're happy to address it. Jonathan Mitchell's asking, can you slowly show your hand to find mirror volume? Not sure what that means.
Mirror volume. Mirror volume.
They
I'm
mean
trying to
like
think.
probably mean like polar symmetry, I think.
Yeah, maybe we'll go over to Ollie. I think that's maybe an Ollie question.
Yeah, I'm if mirror volume. Okay, so yeah, if I go to custom volume here and I move the slider, which I've been doing throughout the whole, design phase here, and I press the left index trigger or your offhand trigger, that will set the axes. So you're seeing like the blue axes here. And then as I sketch now, all I have to do is pull and hold the main hand trigger, and you'll see that that's how I'm generating these volumes here. But if you mean mirror, just regular mirror, I can go into the settings, turn mirror on, and then, as I'm sketching, it'll be mirrored. Hope that answers the question.
I feel like that probably is what they were asking there. I'm not entirely sure, but oh yeah, Jonathan says thanks. So I guess you hit on it there, Ollie.
Sweet.
Okay, guys. So as we're wrapping up here, let's do just a quick little design review. And yeah, just have a little chat.
Yeah, let's do it.
I guess we could
Brett, you
start
want
with
to
you,
go
Ollie.
first? Oh, okay. All right, me. Yeah. So yeah, the very first item that I created, based on the wireframe and the construction and the color palette from Sid Mead and Roche Beaubois, I created this outdoor kind of lounge chair here. Really wanted to do something with the radial ink tool, and in combination with the volume tool, I feel like I combined those two pretty successfully, and then creating a outdoor table that mimics that design language. And then I moved over to just try to put a little context into it. Maybe there would be two matching where people can have like a outdoor conversation. They can have their morning coffee here. They can maybe read a book here. And then I moved over to something that's a little bit more cozy. I was thinking, I have a cat, and I always, my cat, his name's Turbo. He always goes into his cat tree, and I was thinking like, what would a human cat tree or a human like dwelling similar to a cat tree look like? So maybe yeah, a human can jump in here, take a nap, read a book. There's a little light in there. But then there's so to avoid feeling claustrophobic, both sides are open. So one's for viewing, one's for entry and exit. Um, but yeah, this could be a really interesting piece inside somebody's apartment, especially if they have a view. Um, and then yeah, I didn't get to finish this one. This was going to be an ottoman. Kind of reminded me of like if you slice open a tangerine. Yeah, that's kind of where I was headed with that. But yeah, that's what I was able to accomplish in the time. But I'm really happy with it, as these were some of my first furniture sketches ever. So
Nice. Awesome work, Ollie. I love it.
Thank you.
Love it. Let's go over to Brett.
Ollie, that looks sick too. Sorry, I was just finishing up mine over here, trying to make it more presentable. Yeah, honestly, so as you can see, I did like a ton of iterations on a concept that I eventually ended up liking. So I kind of started with the ink tool and did just a couple of different like rough ink sketches here. I ended up really, really liking this concept. So then I just kept duplicating it and experimenting with different parts. So, messing with the shape of the legs here, seeing how it would actually come together with like the base of the seat. Yeah, and just kind of having fun with these proportions and seeing all the different ways that I could communicate this design with different ways that it could be fastened together. Um, I don't know exactly what inspired me to make this like suspended seat here. I think it was Ali. Maybe it was like the floating um, kind of pod that you had going on, but I thought that was kind of an interesting idea. So yeah, and kind of inspired by mid-century modern, inspired by a little bit of automotive design. I ended up with this like I guess mid-century auto chair a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah, I really like the ones with the wireframe legs. It seems a little bit more cohesive to the backrest.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Really great work. Great work, Brett. I want
Thanks.
to thank you guys so much for your time today. I know that it's a little bit challenging doing design live, so I always appreciate the willingness for people to come on and do that. So just want to thank you guys for your time today and diving into to our challenge that we got going on this month. And so I'll just reiterate real quick. This month we're running a challenge where you design your chair or design a chair inspired by your favorite artist or designer. And so that's what Brett and Ollie did today. And if you want to submit your design, just go and submit your work on Instagram using hashtag Gravity Sketch Challenge. And we'd love to see your work. So we'd love to see your process. We'd love to see all of it. If you could share us Gravity Sketch screenshots and just what it looks like inside the app, that'd be great. Thank you everybody for joining that joined us live, and tune in for the next one. We'll be doing these pretty regularly, so just roughly every 2 weeks. And so come prepared with some more ideas, questions, things you'd like to see. And that concludes Live Sketch for today. And thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.